Hello folks, thought I'd come out here and have a little fun chat with you folks out here in the greenhouse. Hope you can see me. Tell you what, let me show you what we got going on out here. Not everything is popped up as nicely as I'd like. These are just now starting to go. Temperatures, everything. I'm getting a few to start going in this tray, but there's a lot of early girls, a lot of Romas, a lot more Romas. We've got some eggplant. Anyway, I figured I'd come out here because I've got the other computer in the house saving a movie that I've just finished editing, and figured I'd do a discussion that I haven't done with you guys in a while. There are those gojis. For those of you who saw those, they're rooted and taken off. You can see, even though the bees are in here, you can see all the beets coming up. And I got a bunch of other things going. So we'll put you back in here. Spring is getting going. Let's see, how about that? Tip you up right there. I think you can see that. Maybe that's too much. Spring's getting going, folks, and it's a good feeling. I'm telling you that the weather has been kind of crazy here for the last month. Month of February has been kind of like month of March used to be. In like a lion, out like a lamb. Last few days we've been, it's cool now. It's actually in the 30s right now. And drizzly. You can see the cloudy and rainy. But change is upon us in some very drastic ways, and I wanted to bring you guys some perspective on what's going on in this world, because unfortunately finding sources of real, true, good information is very hard to do. Discernment is extraordinarily difficult at this point in time, and I wanted to, share with you some of mine so that maybe you can use that in your worlds. Most of this stuff I've decided not to do public, but because of where we're at, I'm going to throw this one out there. I've got a bunch of other things that are going on that I'm going to be sharing soon on the public, plus a ton of stuff that I'm putting up for my email subscribers and Patreon. Patreon is getting a lot of homesteading and stuff with the bandsaw mill and what we're doing with that, and some of the other systems that we're putting in. Some of that you'll see, some of it you won't unless you're on Patreon. But this I felt was, I think is worthy of everybody getting a handle on where we're at, because a lot has happened in the last 2 months. January and February have been unbelievably incredible as to things that are going on. There's a lot of people that, how should I say this politely, have been told to sit down and shut up by the facts. And it's not a pleasant thing, because there are still those out there that believe the whole Q thing. And as much as I want to hope that there would be some sane good guys, as the Mr. Weir would want to think there are, I think the chaos theory is overruling everything now. And even though there might be, and I'm sure there are people out there that have good hearts and want to see the best for things, the dysfunction that is happening and the breakdown of the system that we're in right now is beyond, far beyond any form of organized pushback. So we're going to put it that way. Do we have a government? Not that I want a government. I don't want, mind control over me. You know that. But is there any organized control system in play now? That's the question. And I'm not sure if there is. I will say this on personal observation, T and I have seen an incredible amount of unusual, not normal, military air traffic above us. We've seen a lot of stuff flying around that we wouldn't normally see. See, the rain's picking up. Is our government, our mind control people, who's in charge? Is there a military in charge? You know, it's hard to say. Why is DC surrounded by razor wire and troops? You can speculate all you want to, but unless you know what's going on behind the scenes, all you're doing is speculating. What I know is there's big things afoot behind the scene, and a way to shift, change, and manage what's going on. And I don't think it's going as well as some might think for the good guys or the bad guys. I still see the data that I'm seeing and the evidence that I'm seeing is more chaos theory, because everybody's trying to manifest what they want to manifest, and there's different ideas, beliefs, and knowings and whatnot. So there's a lot of different things that are being manifested. So if you understand the law of an attraction and you understand what you're manifesting for yourself or manifesting in your own world, you must know that regardless of what's going on around the world, you can manifest what you want in most every situation. I mean, if you jump into a pit of fire and think that you're not going to get burned, well, sorry, it doesn't quite work that way. You've got to be aware of what's going on. And so that's what I want to share with you, is what I'm aware of. The rain's picking up, which is good, but it's awful dang sloppy out here. I wanted to share with you my awareness of what's happening in this world right now and in the financial systems. I believe, I'm almost sure enough to know, but I believe something specific is going on. I believe what took place in Texas was the pulling of the pin of the financial grenade on the debt situation. There have been a few things that are going on right now that are bringing the system to its knees completely, and it will be flat dead here, I think, within a month. I think folks like Cliff High have kind of gotten that timing, the details of which he's always fuzzy on, but he senses, he's got a good way to sense and understand the emotional context that we're in. So what I'm seeing in what was done, and I think it was intentional, just like some of the other financial moves that we've seen have been intentional. You got interest rates rising. You've got another financial shutdown that was created by the debt implosion in the power systems via what went on in Texas. Having the prices go up on energies during this cold period, not only did it put massive pressures on people, but the resulting end of it was to essentially throw a big ass monkey wrench right into the cogs of the financial workings in the debt system. So we're seeing a lot of things breaking down right now in the bond market, in interest rates and whatnot. And so there's a big concern about the price of AG. And having a discussion about many of these topics with one of my friends here, Christina, and we had a good conversation. We're both in a very similar line of thinking, and this is something I want you all to be prepared for, because it also has been mentioned by Mr. High, in that the knowing of what's what is. And so I do believe that what happened in Texas and other states as well with the could it have been an engineered weather event, or was it natural because of being in a grand solar minimum? In the end, it doesn't matter. What matters is, can you navigate it when it comes to your food systems and stuff? Can you navigate it as far as your financials are concerned? Can you navigate it? Are you prepared to be independent in a lot of ways? Because here's where I'm going with this. If Donald Trump was correct in him stating, well, I'm returning power to the people, do you comprehend the girth of that? Power to you means you being responsible for everything. And the biggest issue that we've all had is all our markets have been contrived for so long, that everything's been manipulated for so long, that we do not know the real price or value of stuff. And when this thing pops, there's going to be convulsions in things in such a way that we're not going to know. And I'm serious about that, because Christina and I both were talking about the price of silver, and as we're talking, it's actually getting smashed today. Pretty good, because markets are going down, which we've all talked about. Well, in the initial part of the crash phase, the AG could get a swift kick in the groin because of the derivative price. We have also been watching the physical aspect of it separate from the paper aspect of it. So the market is broken. I think David Morgan stated that here in a recent video he did, and I agree with him. The market is broken. If the physical price and the paper price are not the same, then it's not working. And what I want you to be, and to sum it all up, what I want you to be prepared for is the not knowing and being in charge of creating that what we want. And going, well, Aaron, what does that mean? Well, I'm talking about the law of attraction. I'm talking about the manifestation of and being in control of things that we want in the real world, which is the real purchasing power of the savings of silver that we have. So she and I both agreed, and I thought, I'm gonna be honest, I thought for a long time that the powers that be would intentionally manage the price of silver via the COMEX to a very, very high point. And it may still happen. But I really, really want you all to be prepared to take your power back. For those of you who own the AG and the AU, to take your power back, because if you have the power to set the value of these items, the value of your vegetables, the value of your eggs, and the value of the metal that you own. And what does that mean? Well, she and I were both in very much agreement that when this system comes down, the paper price might go to zero, or just get turned off. Maybe get turned off at 25 or 20 or 15, because it gets smashed again in a selling pressure for paper stuff. And I know other folks in the silver world have talked about, the paper price could go to silver. Of silver could go to zero, right? We've heard this. I know there's others, but what does that mean? What does that mean for you? What that means is you and I need to start setting that price. And I had a discussion with my local coin dealer, I explained, I said, we're going from a buyer's market to a seller's market. Okay? Some of you may understand what that means when it comes to real estate. It functionally means that in a market, who gets to determine the price. So far, those who've determined the price are the ones that are on the paper side of things. The sellers of the paper have determined that they want that price at a certain point. But they're running out of the stuff to have. And something else that she and I discussed was the incredible amount of physical demand that has been happening. Incredible amount of physical demand. She was saying, yeah, I know, Erin, you don't get on the social media, but let me tell you what I'm seeing. She's seeing people are posting photos of the purchases that they're making. Here's my stack, and some of them are 500 or some of them are 1,000 ounces. So that's just one aspect of the changes that are occurring. But what I want you to be prepared for two things. One, to know that we are in the final days. We're literally within the final days and weeks. What's going on for the next month, 2 months, whatever, how long it takes. The financial system, the wrenches have been thrown in. I think it was an intentional wrench in the debt system through Texas, so they, the powers that can be, oh no, it was really that God weather thing over there, that snow and cold, that put the pressure on the energy system. It wasn't us messing around. You know what I'm talking about. And the other thing is, be prepared to truly take your power back by setting the price. I mean, Cliff High kind of said it. Is it 600 or is it 6,000? That's going to get determined by the free market. And if we are free and we are the market, we're going to determine that. And we're going to have to educate people on that. And then in the discussion that I had with my local coin dealer, I told him, I said, buddy, you don't I don't think you wrap your head around this. And he says, what do you mean? Because he's programmed. I said, you have been taught and trained to look at that little number, because every time we go in there, he pulls out his phone and he goes to Kitco and he looks at that number on Kitco. That's what I do. I do what they tell me to do. And when I said it to him like that, he went, oh, I get it. I said, here's the thing. I said, I explained, we're going to go into a seller's market. Who are the sellers? The sellers are the people who actually have it. So when the one system ends, you have to understand this is how you navigate it. So when it comes to things like food and those systems, I explain to you in my videos the way you navigate it. When the other system was so polluted you can't eat it because it will kill you, make you sick, and you'll die because you eat too much of their poison. The way to navigate it is come out here and do this to grow your own food and manage and take out that counterparty risk. It's going to be the same way with, I think, the silver price. I truly think, my friends, that Texas was a big old spanner thrown right into the gears. Okay? Boom, 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 boom. Teeth are flying off. Piston rods are going. Things are happening right now, and you're not going to be told this by the mainstream media, because the mainstream media only knows to say what comes out on their little program device, which is the AP and Associated Press and whatever. So they're only going to read and say what they see there. Nobody investigates anything anymore. Nobody really looks into it. You guys have been doing that on your own. We've been helping each other. That's what we've been trying to do to get ready for this event. The event is here, and I want to say, be prepared for things to happen fast now. This is why I told you a year ago it's time to get to your GTFO place. As I stated with Christine, I feel very strongly that you just can't pop and go and be ready and everything's perfect where you want to be. It takes time. It takes time to get this geared up. It takes time to get your garden geared up. It takes time to learn how to can food. It takes time to learn how to be independent with all these ancillary side situations that are going on that you need and want for your pleasure, your joy, and the quality of your life. So for all of you out there, like I said, I keep saying it's going to be my last. I don't know if it will or not, but I still want to maintain the focus on what I'm going to do. So yes, my videos going forward are still going to be, especially the public ones, are going to be primarily the how-to information, how to get this done, how to do that and stuff. My private stuff is going to be my personal navigation around the homestead, because that is my private life, and only those who join the Patreon and whatnot are going to come along and see that, because you're going to learn a lot of stuff that you wouldn't otherwise. And there you go. We got some infrastructural things to do here for the next month or two, taking care of more projects here. But then I am planning on moving into my new economy, which is going to be what I'm going to create, which is products that folks like you are going to need, either locally or around, for whatever we can do to get stuff shipped around. I don't know how that's going to work. I do suspect that very shortly, when everything comes down, that you're not going to be able to get things through the mail very easily. Already for the last year have had many problems with that. I know a lot of people said, well, I ordered this and it never showed up. I said, well, did you call them? Did you say anything? No, I didn't. I've just been waiting. People don't understand that that's part of the breakdown. So if you don't have it, chances are you're not going to get it. We are at that point. And you and I are going to have to take control of that and start to rebuild our local areas. It's going to get small, it's going to get local. We're going to have to rebuild our local areas, and we're going to be the educators. We're going to be the ones that help determine a price of silver value, that kind of thing. We're going to have to make a decision on doing that, and I don't think people understand, well, because when Cliff High makes a statement, well, is it 600 or is it 6,000? He's not saying as clearly as I would like him to say, so that you understand, is that you and I are the ones that are going to set that price by standing firm for what we want and what we're going to manifest into our worlds. It's not going to be easy, because we're not used to doing this. We're all used to being told exactly what things are and what the price is and what we're going to do. That's the world we've lived in. So I don't know. I don't think Trump is in office, hidden in the secrets behind, and that's a prison camp in D.C. I don't believe that for a minute. But I do believe it's possible that he is aware that the power is going to be returned to the people, but not in a public format where we're going, okay, we're going to roll back this. It's just going to collapse. All these things that are going around us, going on, the systems that we've depended upon, are coming apart at the seams right now. Ergo, why I've said, you want to be your own power company, you want to be your own grocery store, you want to be your own king and queen on your little piece of dirt the best you can, and then have the means to protect that the best you can, because unfortunately our social structure doesn't allow for the majority of people to want to work together. They're not. They're going to go after each other's throats. So, long story short, I think Texas was a big, the pin in the grenade. Somebody pulled it and let it go, and it is in the process of blowing up. just things aren't as fast or the way that we think, and it will eventually, the speed of the gases propelling will go so fast that everybody won't be able to handle it. We've seen the issues. There's been shutdowns in the the Fed had some problems. There's a myriad of articles. I know you have to have read them because you're doing your research, right? Anyway, we're there. It's coming apart, and you and I are the ones that will fix this. Nobody else is going to do it for us, which means we're the ones who are going to probably be determining that silver price. So the physical pressure has been on, and I've seen more data on that to prove that's the case. How does it play out? You know, we're all watching that. I think some of that is still naturally evolving. So I wish you all well, and you know, y'all be blessed. You know, keep me and T in your prayers, and you know, let's all stay focused on what we can do to make this world a better place, regardless of other people's bad decisions. Because Miss Karma, I think she's already out there riding around. You know, I think she's really getting it. So y'all take care and be blessed.